Today we're playing A Fair at Sombrefell Hall for you. Thanks to Sirenscape for the sounds that will help us set the atmosphere that you're about to experience. A Fair at Sombrefell Hall is the third adventure in the module Doomsday Dawn for the Pathfinder Playtest. Our characters today are all 7th level, and all of them have access to healing of some sort through their class features. This adventure is meant to specifically stress test those aspects of the game that are at work here in the environment that you're about to see, but I would like to not give any spoilers, so we'll sort of stop there. All of these folks have never played this adventure before, so you will be experiencing it alongside of them. And I think we will go ahead and start out today with introducing yourself and your character. We'll start here with Cosmo.
All right. Hello, my name is Cosmo, and I'll be playing Heyu Drat. He's a goblin sorcerer of the demonic bloodline.
My name is Chris Caldwell. I am playing Bodil the Dwarf Druid.
I'm John Compton, organized play lead developer. I'm going to be playing Gwenel Sotova, who is an estranged noble heiress with a big sword.
Excellent. And I'm Whitney. I'm playing Primin, a gnome cleric, worshipping Desna.
All right, excellent. And my name is Amanda Hamon Kunz. I am the GM today. I am managing developer for Starfinder and author of this adventure here. And unless anybody has any questions before we get started, I think we'll go ahead and jump right in.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds
Let's
great.
jump in.
All right, so this module, just to do a little bit of scene setting here, takes place in Ustalav. This is a nation of eerie myths and esoteric knowledge and undead threats. This is a place in which, unless you are from this area, and even if you are probably a little bit unsettled as you're walking through the various cobblestone streets of these deceptively quiet villages. Specifically, as this module is dawning, this adventure is dawning, your characters are in the city of Rosenport. This is a bustling university town, a little bit safer than some of the other places in Ustalav. It is known for the Psychomathy School of Sciences. This is an institution that is known for its scholarship in the more traditional sciences, as well as the studies that are steeped in some of the more arcane and occult forces of the world, some of the lesser understood types of knowledge here. And so you are all in this town, and you're going to be approached by a very distinct looking messenger at the start of this. But before I tell you who that messenger is or what it is that they have to tell you, I would like you all to go around the circle here and tell me a little bit about what you're doing in town as part of your day-to-day basis. Give us a sense of who your character is and what they might be doing at any given time. We'll start with Cosmo.
All right. Heyu Drat is he's a goblin about town. He makes his living by solving problems for people. He's originally from this area, but has traveled widely in his year. He's not very old on human terms, but he's rather long in the tooth in the goblin's life, and he's seen a lot of life in those years. And he spends his time finding problems and fixing them. And, you know, he kind of has this philosophy of fighting fire with fire and solving problems by creating other problems.
So he is a discerning green-skinned gent, not afraid to throw fire at a problem that needs it.
Exactly.
Excellent. Chris, who are you? What are you doing right now?
So Bodil is a druid, as I mentioned, and very much in tune with, you know, the more nomadic aspects of life. He is brought to town because he is drawn by the esoteric order for work. And growing up as a farmhand back in his clan, saw bigger and better things, so came to town seeking adventure and glory. Not so much one for groups, although will be forced to help out when needed and help his fellow adventurers. So he is more reluctant to group, however, sees it as a means to an end. So that's why he's in town, hanging out, waiting for the next job. Not so much the friendly type.
So Bodil is a loner who's not afraid to get dirty when it's required for coin, I would assume.
For coin, but also reputation.
Oh, all right. John, tell us a little bit about what your character is doing.
Gwenel's been brought in here because she's been doing a little bit of work for a couple of local institutions recently, and then she recently found out that Heyu Drat is in the area, and as part of her scholarly alliance that she's been working with, this is news to her. She's discovered books. Books are fantastic, and books have full of history, like how at one point Brevoy threatened to own Ustalav. So one day this could happen again. I'm telling you, Hadrat. Hey, this could be wonderful. This could be all ours again.
Seems like a good idea to me.
You just need an army. You just need this will be like the Riddleport incident all over again. It'll be you and me and 5,000 soldiers riding over the hill.
Yeah.
We just need to start accumulating the army.
And yes, alchemist fire too.
And fire.
Sure.
And fire.
Fire is everybody's ally, but nobody's friend. I've told you this many times.
Well, I mean, yes.
With great fire comes great catastrophe.
Exactly.
Wait, no, responsibility.
Wait,
That came out.
no, right.
So Gwenel is out scouting her future annexation territories to get a sense of where the couches might look good and where the fences should be built and where the goblin might be okay to throw his goblin fire.
Right, exactly.
Nobles.
Well, nobles do like to think ahead. Herman, what are you doing?
Well, I grew up as being a gnome. I grew up in the Desna Monastery. But as gnomes do, we like to travel, got bored, want to see the world. And Desna smiles on that. Maybe a little luck along the way. So I'm in town because I have my little cart. It's called Primin's Proffers. I sell potions. Real quick fix, pick-me-ups. Sounds like it's a good opportunity with your war coming that I could make some cash on the unsuspecting wounded.
I'm concerned that gnomes are picking up the Ferengi acquisition laws.
Might a little bit, But I've been around 50 winters now, so I know how to make a deal and do some business. But I'm only in town just a little while the trade is good.
Right, you're no greenling, you're no child.
No, I said I like my wandering because bleaching is not a thing we look forward to in life. So I'd go where the opportunity and the money might be.
So Primin's Proffers, then you've got your
Primin's
cart
Proffers,
set
yes,
up.
I have a little cart.
Tell us a little bit about your potions. What do they look like? What are your customers? What are your
my
mannerisms?
potions are special because they're quick use. They're not just carrying them around; they go bad quickly. So mine are more lighter colored, let's say, than most.
That seems legit.
Totally legit. They work perfectly.
Totally.
We're an upstanding group.
Totally upstanding. I am a legitimate business person.
And do you all know each other at all, or any of you together, or are you all in your separate areas?
We at least have a history.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would not have known anyone before I got here.
No, I'm here to make a quick buck.
You're just the gruff man of few words, dwarf of few words.
Only in town as long as it is required, and then moving on.
All right. So as you're at your separate places and going about your daily business here in Rosenport, as you have just described, you're each approached by a very distinct messenger. All of these messengers roughly look about the same. Some of them are men, some of them are women, but they are all dressed in these concealing hooded robes with overlapping shades of burnt umber, brown, very non-distinct, very casual and meant to blend into the background. They have a little bit of a silver chain kind of around their neck, but whatever that amulet is tucked underneath the robes. And this is not necessarily, something about this seems a little familiar, although you're not sure exactly what's going on. But each of these messengers, they look for you, they're coming to you specifically, and they walk up to you, and they each hand you a parchment that is carefully wrapped, and there's a wax seal that encloses this parchment with a very distinct symbol on it. It is a symbol of a scarab beetle with a single eye on its back. And each of you easily recognize, once you notice this symbol, that this is the symbol of the Order of the Esoteric, or the Esoteric, Order of the Esoteric Palatine Eye, an organization that revolves around studying sinister eldritch forces and working to thwart their nefarious schemes on Galarian. This is a very secretive order, the Order of the Palatine Eye, but you've all worked with them in some capacity. You all have contacts within the Order, or you have done jobs for cash and reputation at the Order, or your skill with fire is appreciated,
amongst other things,
in the Order.
Remember, Drab, these are the ones who hire us to do things where we can throw fire at tentacle monsters and not get convicted.
Exactly. This is my favorite type.
And so you guys all have these this parchment that you are welcome to open up and read at your leisure, and when you do, I will let you know what it says. Did you just eat the wax seal?
Well,
I think he might have eaten
if
the
they
whole
didn't
thing.
want us to eat it, they wouldn't have made it so tasty.
It's not
obviously.
cherry flavored, is it? Is it cherry flavored?
You haven't tried it, obviously.
I haven't.
We learn new things every day.
See, I'm of the school that you don't eat the wax, but you know, I mean, I've never tried it, so I wouldn't know.
I ate wax.
Why
in
did you
school,
get a
too.
red one? I got a purple one.
Well, let me see that. Ooh, grape. I like grape.
Ooh, grape.
They're both favorites.
And
All
how was
right.
that one?
You might be able to use this in a potion or two. Who
You
knows?
could. Little color.
I'm sure your ingredients are nothing but the finest quality.
They are, in fact.
Indeed. All right, you guys ready to hear what the handout says?
Yes.
All right, excellent. So you open this handout, and there's a parchment with very meticulous, spider-like handwriting on it. And it says, "Faithful friend, your sisters and brothers of the esteemed Palatine Eye are at a loss. We need the assistance of a specific expert, but to get it, we need help from you. To explain, 2 years ago, from an ancient tomb in Katapesh, our agents received a most sinister gem called a countdown clock. Within its facets dance shifting runes that chronicle the elapsing of time. Our scholars have recently determined that these shifting runes are counting down to the year 4718. This is most alarming, for we have also learned that this year is of significance to the Dominion of the Black, but beyond these facts, we are stymied. The Palatine Eye needs to know what we face. Specifically, we need the research skills of one Dr. Vered Alar, Ustalav's foremost expert on the Dominion of the Black and a vaunted professor at the Cinco School here in Rosenport. The good doctor, however, is not currently at residence in his post. We understand that he has gone on sabbatical to Somberfell Hall, a manor his family owns on the southwestern shores of Lantern Lake. Some say that his research into the Dominion has left his mind in a delicate state. If there were any other way to thwart the evils that we face, we would not bother the good professor. However, this is a matter of utmost importance. Along with a group of like-minded and pious partners we've assembled, we ask you to travel to the professor's retreat and humbly ask for his aid. Dr. Alar knows the horrors of the Dominion better than anyone, and he respects those who are dedicated to thwarting them. As you are, we know. He is, by all accounts, also a religious man, and we hope he will listen to you, consider our case, and help us, despite the rest he's undertaking. Please, without delay, meet the others of the group that we have assembled at the Hungry Fog Tavern in Rosenport immediately. Gather any supplies that you need, meet at the tavern, and please travel on to ask for the assistance of this professor. Yours in the unexplained, the Eye."
I'll give you 2-to-1 odds that pious companions means paladin.
I'm not gonna take that bet.
So they've asked you to go to this tavern without
fog.
delay and to meet each other. So you
All right.
feel free to do that.
To the fog.
I think my tab is paid up there. Yeah, I think that one's okay. Let's go to that one.
Okay.
All right. So
Do I run across Prim's Propers on the way to the tavern?
how close are you set up to this tavern? This is one of the more well-known taverns in town.
Fairly close, because once folks have a few drinks in them, they're more loose with their coin.
That is the plan of a solid businesswoman.
I'm small and nimble.
You can duck out of the way if somebody's
I can
trying to
duck out of
grab
the
you after you've
Well,
sold them something
My
that's
healing
less
skills
than...
are very good, so I can fix things they break.
I would like to go to the Prim's Propers and check out a potion or two.
Okay.
What do you have in stock, Miss?
Proper.
No,
Prim.
proper.
Prim.
I've got healing potions.
That sounds excellent.
How many would you
I've
like?
just been recruited to go on this adventure. I might be in need of some healing potions.
Oh, I have an adventure as well. Are you going to Somberfell Hall, perhaps?
Why, in fact, I am. Are you here at the Hungry Fog for that as well?
I am, in fact.
Perfect. Well, are you going to be bringing any of these potions, or?
I will. I will prepare several and bring them with.
Excellent. Well, why don't we go inside and wait for our companions?
Sounds like a wonderful idea.
I really like the idea of going on an adventure and just having a cart full of potions.
I may have a bag of holding for this.
Potions! Get your potions here!
I said bags of holding are wonderful for such things. Who needs a cart when you have a bag of holding?
Well, then
It does make travel easier.
I imagine
Indeed.
most of them are just jars of water that say, "No, really, this will heal you."
So were you buying any potions from Prim
Yes.
over here?
What is the price for one of these said healing potions?
Well,
that look like bottles of water.
Most establishments will charge you 8 gold. Mine's a bargain at 6.
Okay. I take one up and examine it. Does it look like a healing potion?
You know, to you it looks a little, like she said, a little watery. There's a little bit of hints of bubbles kind of at the top, things that you wouldn't necessarily
So it
expect.
looks like carbonated.
It might be carbonated. It might just have some sort of ingredient that you're not necessarily used to.
Yesterday's
Can I do
beer.
a medicine check to see if I can find out?
Sure, go for it.
25.
All right, so 25, you can tell that this is not necessarily a standard healing potion. You're going to tell that there's probably a little bit of the ingredients required for a normal healing potion, but probably not enough to actually do anything.
It's a homeopathic healing potion.
Well, this is not really. I am impressed by your handiwork here. This looks like a really effective potion for its needs, for its means.
You might want to lower your voice so other people don't hear you.
Are you lying to her?
I will offer you 5 gold for this healing potion.
Very well.
Silver pieces? 5 silver pieces?
Yeah.
Very well. It said, and since I'm going along, I am better skilled at regular type healing as well in the moment.
Oh, I see.
You know, for emergency situations.
I like that you're making money off of your fellow ally in this adventure here. Like, this is very mercenary. I sort of love it.
Getting a feel for.
Chaotic good is a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Chaotic good, you say?
I do good things. That's just maybe in unorthodox ways.
All right. We'll see about that. All right.
Over 5 silver.
Excellent.
All right, what are you two doing while these two are out here bargaining and examining each other's wares and totally lying to each other about everything, apparently?
Have you learned to fight people with normal weapons yet?
A great big smile with big razor-sharp teeth. It's pretty normal.
Cosmo, why don't you tell people exactly what it is that your teeth do and how?
Oh, well, I've got excessively large, like unnaturally long, large, and sharp teeth for my goblin, and I can also cast a spell to make them even worse.
Even bitier.
Even bitier. I'm a very, very bitey goblin, and that's mostly how I do have a crossbow slung over my back, but mostly I just like to bite things.
And that is something you get from your demonic sorcerer bloodline, that
Exactly.
Glutton Jaw's power there.
Yeah, glutton jaws. Yeah.
So when things start to hit the fan, your teeth come out and play.
So we're going to take you and just throw you at them.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I prefer actually to, while you are all making them pay attention to big
Hand-waving
big
over
punchy
here.
over here, I'll just be behind and biting hamstrings.
I can't wait.
Yay!
Yay, stretch.
All right, so you're just asking him exactly what his strategy tends to be when things...
Tell me about the things you have bitten in the past year since we last saw each other.
Teeth. What have I bitten? What haven't I bitten? Oi!
You asked this question. This is
I'll
our
ask
fault.
more.
Yes.
All right,
Be not afraid.
No fear.
so you two are in the tavern. You two are just outside of the tavern.
we head in after the
You're gonna head in?
I'm going to buy you a drink.
Nobody
Sounds
can
excellent.
saber a bottle of champagne like a goblin with an overbite.
He just pours it in, and about half of it actually gets into his mouth, and the other half just dribbles down the side. He's like, "This is delicious."
You know, if you just bite off the bottom of a mug, it's like shotgunning.
Shut. All right, so you see when you come into the tavern, when you two come into the tavern, you see this little goblin with these giant ears and these large, yellow, almost gangrenous-looking teeth just like poking out in this giant is an overbite, correct?
Well, it's more of an outward bite. It's
Outward
kind of one of
bite.
these
So he's got
things.
teeth that are just protruding from his face.
He's got big.
And there's
nasty
this
teeth.
very elegant-looking noblewoman who is wearing armor,
Oh, buckets of armor.
who is wearing a bucket as armor.
No.
Oh, okay.
A
Buckets of
quantity.
armor.
Buckets of armor.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Precision of language. Plenty of armor. You got a big sword
Oh, yeah.
sheathed on your back or your side. Okay. So you see these two, they are engaged in conversation.
Yeah.
They are the two in the tavern. There's not very many other people. It's sort of earlier in the morning after the opening when these messengers have approached you right at dawn. What are you going to do?
I'm going to go to the bar and buy this man a drink.
That sounds excellent.
Okay.
Sharing a drink with Primmin.
All right. Have you approached these at all? These guys at all?
I mean, I'll take a look around and see who else is in here. And
Okay.
I mutter to myself, I've got a potion to fix those teeth. Yellow discoloration and such.
You can make it bigger?
The couple other people in the tavern are, there are more employees there than there are customers at this point. They're, sort of a stern, like ruddy-looking woman who's rubbing down the bar, using, clearly like still cleaning up some stuff from the previous night. There's a couple of people kind of in the corners who look like they're maybe regulars. There's somebody who looks like they probably slept in the corner and was never kicked out. Other than that, the most obvious patrons are your friends.
Also, knowing that we're meeting people here, I would have basically just taken the handout and like left it on the table in an obvious spot.
Okay.
So it's like we're meeting people who probably got this summons.
That makes sense. So you guys see that on the table.
I just say, oh, hey, there's I got a letter too.
Yeah, a letter too. Why don't we go over there? Holy wood! Look at those teeth. Those are the biggest teeth I've ever seen.
Thank you. Thank you so
Godel,
much.
it's considered impolite to point out the physical features of your companions.
No. It's okay. I don't mind.
I whisper,
Shiny.
might not want to get too close to those.
Those are, quite impressive, sir.
Thank you.
So how tall do you stand? Okay, so I'm
About
I'm
3.5
only about
feet.
Yeah.
For those not on camera. In the
Oh,
room.
sorry. Yeah. Probably between 2.5 and 3.5 feet. Right around 3
I'm
feet.
almost 3.5 feet, so I'm probably looking you right in the eye.
Yeah, he's a little
Right
guy.
them teeth.
And I'm only probably 4.5 feet tops, so we're,
Guess you're a giant.
and then we have the circus feet over here.
Chris, is this how you feel every day?
All right,
Get a
so
new perspective.
It's Lady and the Shotties.
all right, we're not putting together a band here. We're doing serious business.
We weren't.
Super
Oh
serious
no.
business.
Oh my.
All right, band members, you all see the parchment sitting there on the table. Are you going to introduce yourselves to each other?
I slapped down my parchment on the table. And said, is that what I think it is?
Do you think it's an invitation from the esoteric something eyeball people to go after the bad guys? Because yes, that's
Yes.
what it is.
Something
Yes,
along those
definitely.
lines, yes.
Yes.
So, Desna allows paladins now, does she?
I am no paladin.
I'm glad I didn't take that bet.
I'm just a humble healer.
Spare me. There's nothing humble about healers. They always brag about, I brought you back from death this time. Now you owe me this thing, and you should donate your earnings to orphanages.
Huh, I see.
I will have none of this.
I'll remember that when you're laying on the ground bleeding.
I'm sure I will be an apt conversationalist at that point.
Yes.
You actually do get really, really chatty at that point, at those times.
You always insist that.
So as you guys are discussing what it is that you're doing and confirming with each other that you're all headed in the same place, the drunk guy that was over in the corner that looked like he probably had been sleeping there, he had a disheveled looking hat sort of over his face, he's got several days worth of beard growth, he's gonna kind of get up, kind of stagger past you through the door, and as he's on his way past you and out, he's gonna overhear the word Somberfell Hall. He's gonna hear you talking about this place, and he's gonna go, Somberfell Hall, that place is a dump! Why would you want to go there?
Because it doesn't allow the folks like you to sleep on its floor.
Well,
I am a feature of this tavern, I will have you know. My name is Bartle, and I am known as the entertainment of this place. He's gonna cough a little bit, have a little bit of something kind of drip down his mouth.
Oh my.
How dare you insult me?
Bartle the Entertainer, eh?
Bartle.
Did you also get one of these?
What's that? He's gonna look at it. I can't read. Give it back to you.
You'll do great. You're on the team.
I'm not going to that dump at Somberfell Hall. And he's gonna kind of point sort of in the northwest direction while he's talking about that place.
Why do you call
Have
it
you
a dump?
even been to Somberfell?
Nobody goes to Somberfell Hall. It is a dump, I'm telling you. It's a piece of crap. And he's gonna actually wander out unless somebody wants to stop him.
I'm gonna follow him and say, so why do you say it's a dump? Why? Who lives there? What goes on there?
Well, nobody lives there, and I mean, it's all boarded up. There's a bunch of junk. Some professor family lived there decades ago, but
When's
nobody
the last time you
has.
were there?
I've never been there. I've only heard about the place. Why would I go there?
Sounds like a great adventure for you.
It sure does, but I'm not going with you, suckers.
But think of all the things if it's boarded up and abandoned, all the fun things we could find.
You could find. I'm not going to go there. I, Bartle the Entertainer, have important business to attend to.
You mean that corner full of your puke?
Well, when you put it that way, yes.
Bartle, what does your schedule look like for today?
Bartle is very important and has drinking to do and carousing to do and friends. So many friends. So many friends.
Exactly the sort of thing that we were looking to do. You wish to join us?
Why would I do that?
Oh, but think of all the opportunities. Let me tell you about some of the places that we're going to go. I'm going to try and use deception to convince Bartle the Entertainer, who's clearly an important fixture in the adventure,
Okay.
to become our fifth wheel in our adventure party. All right, that's going to be a 25.
Oh my.
Wow. So you were extolling the virtues of this adventure that you're going on to try to convince him to come with you?
Yes, but I want to make sure that I'm not overstepping my deity's requirements, so I'm going to emphasize that we'll be fighting bottles of booze and doing battle with intoxication.
Sure, and Primin also mentioned that there might be good things to find, so with that suggestion, he might actually start to think that there might be some good stuff that's been hanging out there, since nobody has lived in this hall for several decades. So he's gonna kind of look at you as you say that and kind of go, you make a good point.
I hold up my glass. There
What?
may be beer.
Why do you want me to come with you? What? I am a busy person. How could I help you?
You seem like the perfect guide.
You
Lead
know
us
so
straight
much.
to the manor.
You know where it is?
Nobody knows the way to a manor like somebody who thinks it's a dump.
What'll you give me?
I pull out the potion I bought from Primin. I will give you this.
Whoa, what is this elixir? This looks tasty. He's gonna uncork it, kind of sniff it. Blueberries! Oh, my favorite!
It is all yours. Should you accompany us and show us the way to the manor?
I could. He's gonna kind of like shuffle around, clearly affecting some sort of like falsehood here, and shuffle around and say, I think I have some time in my schedule. Okay. He's gonna come with you.
All right.
Yeah. Fantastic wealth. You are guaranteed to get so many riches, and honestly, I heard that they used to brew, and that in the basement of this place we're going, there's a brew that you've never tasted before. I'm just going to use a little bit of deception here.
Blow my mind. Is that what you're saying?
And that would be a 20.
That is a natural 20 on the die for
Natural
those
20.
of you watching at home.
And I happen to have the feat Charming Liar.
Oh dear.
So that automatically improves his attitude towards us by one step. So now he really likes us.
So while you're explaining all of this to him, his eyes are going to start to kind of light up, and he's going to think about all of these fantastic, undiscovered items. Wine that's been aging for decades that nobody has seen. Clearly things that are great that you heard about that must be true.
It has to be.
I'm
He
going to feel
trusts you.
so bad when Bartle dies.
I'm not.
He's still going to kind of...
This is great.
He's going to like lower his guard, and he's going to drop the act a little bit about being this great entertainer, and he's going to kind of look at you, and he's going to look at your teeth. Your teeth are sort of glinting with the yellowness of that protruding bite that you've got there, and it's going to be like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. It's this way. And he's going to lead you toward a road that goes to the northwest out of town.
So when we look at Bartel, what do we see?
So you see very much a person who doesn't take care of themselves very well. Somebody who has clearly not had a change of clothes in several days, if not longer. He's got his disheveled hat sort of just rumpled up on his head and kind of tilting to the side. He's got a dirty face. He's got the beard growth. He's got sort of rips in his clothes. He's, you know, he is not the great entertainer that he's necessarily leading you to believe. You don't need to make a check to see that. He's just kind of a townie in the bar.
Is he human?
Right.
He is indeed human.
Okay, so we're looking up at this dude.
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like we could buy him some like new clothes, a shower, some equipment. We will start Bartol off the adventuring track.
And then when he dies, we'll take it back.
this is our trap finder. I mean, because I'm sure he's got the skills.
Right.
Obviously.
Exactly.
Yeah, he is a great and impassioned and talented entertainer.
Exactly.
As he has
with
described
no instrument
to you.
on his back?
With no. Oh, his singing voice must be lovely. He's got that
Obvious.
croaking voice.
Yes.
He's probably
All
some
the
kind of jazz
octaves.
singer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I expect
totally.
that he's going to be inspiring us with, all kinds of, he's probably a bard. He's probably a high-level bard.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be great.
Yeah.
They always do walk undercover.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. I don't see
Hide
any
in
problem
plain
with this
sight.
plan.
Yeah.
So as you guys are discussing what use Bartle might be to you, he's just gonna
Right in front of his face.
He's just gonna stumble. He's gonna stumble in northwest direction and kind of get bored of what you're talking about. And if you would like to follow him, you can, but he's not stopping.
And that's how we ended
yes.
up in Versia.
Well, we
we will.
followed this guy who said he was an entertainer.
He does appear to be going in the right direction, right?
He does, yeah. That
Alright.
same direction he pointed.
Perfect.
He didn't mention exactly how far away it was, and I don't know if you want to ask him or if you want to listen to him as he kind of mumbles.
I'm cool.
Yeah, pays loose attention to what he's saying to make sure it sounds like he's going the right way.
He's not trying to,
Yeah.
pull one over on us.
Yeah.
Well,
All right, so he's just walking and he's just kind of mumbling and he's just kind of counting out on his fingers. And, it's a long journey. It's going to take you several hours, but it's going to be fairly uneventful up until you get to the shores of Lantern Lake. But you hear him sort of counting out the steps that you're taking and the miles that are passing by and sort of paying attention to the landmarks, making sure you're going in the right place. While he is not a particularly talkative individual or companion, he clearly knows the area very well. He's a local.
Cool.
So he's going to keep you on a well-demarcated path down to Lantern Lake, pretty flat terrain, and he's going to lead you.
We're on like a road,
Yeah, you're on
premeditated
a
road.
path.
Okay.
Yeah, it is not very well traveled. You actually don't come across any other adventurers or any other individuals, but you come to this dead end, and there's this very large manor house at the end that you can see just 30 or 40 feet away if you would like to approach. This is the layout of it. There's a main front door, and you can tell that there's a path that goes around back.
As we're approaching it, I'm gonna put on my cool adventuring goggles and
We'll just put this
pull
here
out
in case you
my
wanna see
lucky
it.
beads and have all of my put on my lucky ring.
Your accoutrement.
I would like to.
Basically, put on my stuff.
Can I check the road for like signs of travel or footprints out of the manor?
Sure. Go ahead.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Was survival? 19.
Okay. So you don't see any signs of very a lot of traffic or a lot of back and forth traffic. You see what probably could be a path with like some wagon wheels that look like they're a couple of days old, if not like a week or so old, and maybe a little bit of what might have been footprints at some point. It hasn't rained in a while, but you're not seeing any sort of evidence of lots and lots and lots of people coming and going. This
Okay.
is still a fairly rural, uninhabited type of area.
So I get up from the knee I took to do this, and I said, "We're definitely the first people here in a while, everybody."
And our understanding is that
That's
this Vard Osalar is supposed to be alive here.
and well known.
And
It's very suspicious.
it is.
What did it say in the handout about when he had gone on sabbatical? Did it address that at all?
So it said,
We are supposed to meet him there to, appeal to his senses to help us. So
Yeah, he's
he
supposed to
should
be in this house
there.
somewhere. Yeah.
it's been a few weeks
Okay.
since he's been on sabbatical, and for what everybody knows of the situation, he took some students of his and went to the hall to do some research.
Oh, okay. So he does not normally live here. He is studying here.
Yes.
So when we can see the house from the road, what does it look like? You said it's all boarded up. And
You
all.
can see the house. You are looking toward the lake. You're sort of probably right around here. And as you look in that direction, you're seeing this sort of billowing haze stretching out over the lake and butting up into the back of the mansion. The mansion itself is just massive, and there are sweeping roofs about 2.5 vaulted stories tall, with a grand entrance of mahogany double doors. And what it looks like you're kind of far away, but it looks like maybe some sort of a white knocker that might be like an angel or like an ankh, something with like a large top above it, and like a tarnished bronze placard that if you go a little closer, you might be able to see more of.
Well, let's go up to the front door then.
Like the Lake of Mists and Veils. It's like home. Have I ever told you about Ice Fairy?
No.
Iceport. Ice Fairy's in a different place. Either way, they're both the same. Frozen.
So you're gonna go up closer to the house?
Sure.
Way nicer than any dump I've ever lived in.
All right. So as you walk up there, again, you don't really hear any activity on the inside, but it's a very large structure, so that's not necessarily surprising. On the mahogany double doors there, it is indeed a white marble knocker that is fashioned in the likeness of an angel-shaped ankh. And that tarnished bronze placard that stretches above the top of the doors says Somberfell Hall. And if anybody would like to make a religion check,
Yes.
you might be able to know what that knocker is.
27.
25.
12.
Okay. All of you, even you, just barely, are able to recall that from the depths of your mind. Recognize this pretty easily as a symbol of the goddess Sarenrae. And in fact, the placement sort of the knocker in this prominent position at the outside of the house probably means that the family who built it was a Sarenrae family, probably worshipped her, and just revered the idea of the sun, redemption, healing, and all of that stuff. That this almost, in the way that it's sitting, looks kind of like it's a retreat of some sorts of that type of family.
Look at this. Dedicated to the Sun Witch.
Are the
Not a
windows
fan.
open? Can we see into them?
You can't see anything from the front, but if you go around the back, you might be able to. It looks like there might be some sort of like overhang or balcony or something that's built back there into the house.
I think I'm gonna go around back and see if I can see in this weird looking, not totally occupied mansion.
It looks somewhat empty, yes.
Yeah, let's make a circuit of the whole building
Okay.
and stay together.
Can I look in the window? Perception?
So go ahead and just walk around the
I'm gonna
back,
walk around
and
the
sure,
back.
make a perception check to see how much you can see through the mist that's back there.
8 plus 11, 19 again.
Okay, so you can kind of squint and see the details rising out from the mist. That there is indeed on the second floor sort of balconies that have trellises with ivy that grow up and lead to the top of the balconies. They are about 10 feet high, so not something that you could easily reach without climbing, but something that is sort of a safe distance up. Yes, Gwendol.
I would like to jump up there.
Would you like to climb up there?
Or jump up there.
Okay, so you're gonna go around back, but as you're doing that, now you can certainly still do that, but there's going to be a dark-haired woman who is going to emerge from one of the balconies. She looks like this. And you've been clomping around and making some sort of noises. You've clearly gotten her attention. And she's just going to poke her head sort of over the balcony and say, visitors must check in at the front, please. And then walk away and kind of like harshly slam the door
Is this
to
a
the balcony.
museum?
Okay.
That
Well,
was rude.
I say we check in at the front.
Once we're entering somewhere, perhaps.
Yeah.
Eh,
Do you have a rope?
yes.
I say you jump up there and throw the rope down. I mean, what's she gonna do?
Let me just take a look first. Hang on. Alright, I'm going to try and do a high jump.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you're going to try to jump up on top of the balcony?
Try. Alright, so...
Do or do not. There is no try.
There is no
Exactly. All right, so that's going to get me after my bonuses, that is a 21 to jump. According to this high jump, if I succeed at roll a DC. Whoa. All right, I jump up about 5 feet.
So you're just like,
He's like,
Hang on. You leap. Oh, no, never mind. Failure, you leap the maximum height allowed by the leap action,
Oh,
which
okay.
is normally the 5, but I have this powerful leap ability, which says whenever I vertically or horizontally leap, I go another 5 feet. So I'm just going to...
all right, so you're going to make it over.
As far as I can tell.
Yeah, make it over on the
Because
balcony.
I did not quite critically fail.
All right.
So how many feet is that you jumped?
10 feet.
10 feet straight in the air from the stand.
Running
In
start.
full place.
Boing.
Yeah, in full place.
I don't even need to have running start, apparently, because I have powerful leaper as well, or quick leap, which allows me to just go.
Yeah.
just a jack.
Boing.
Why don't you, so you jump up just 10 feet, correct? So this is a balcony that has kind of like railing on it. So you're able to kind of grab the railing, but why don't you make an athletics check to see if you're able to hoist yourself up there.
Oh.
And that is a natural 1.
Bum, 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 bum.
So you're unfortunately going to lose your grip.
Okay, let's check in front.
I'll catch you. I run.
All
I was
right.
gonna say we all just kind of
So
like
you
scatter.
fell, you fell
Catching
10
full
feet,
plate.
which is going to be 3 points of damage for
Ow.
you.
Ah, boy. Gonna restore a little bit of dignity.
And as you jumped up there and grabbed, you were able to see through the slats of the railway to the balcony that this dark-haired woman, she heard the thump of you trying to jump up there, and she's just going to turn her head. She's just going to look at you and glare at you and go,
And that's when I fall.
and that's when you
right out
thump
of there.
right down into the ground.
She looked at me most maliciously, and then I fell. It was clearly a hex. This house is full of witches.
I recommend a different strategy.
Front door.
Let's pull a fast one on them and go in the front door.
This is a good plan.
They'll never expect it from us.
Tactically sound.
All right.
All right, front door.
Low chance of failure.
All right, so who's knocking on the front door?
Oh, I'll do it. I think you've done enough already.
I mean, if you're gonna call the woman who is clearly sort of the doorkeeper a witch, that might not be the best way to. But
Not
far
to
be it
her
for me to
face.
tell you
Quick
what to
question.
do.
Who can reach the knocker on the door?
Oh,
I'll
wait.
knock on the door.
Bartel.
Entertainer.
Bartel.
Bartel.
Yeah.
Yeah, we brought him. He can knock on the door.
Bartle.
Bartle, here.
Our herald.
Yeah.
Go knock on the door. Quick.
Bartle.
All right.
Who will knock on the door and say, "Your dump is full of witches."
Do you want Bartle? Do you want to ask Bartle to knock on the door? Because he's
Not anymore.
He's been sort of standing kind of off to the side, just kind of looking up at the place and kind of staggering over. He's not eaten anything or that you've seen or drank anything, so he might be getting a little lightheaded. He's not. He's not really very animated anymore.
I have several days of rations.
I do too. I can just throw something at him.
I'm kind of irrational.
Bonk on the side of the face. Hey,
here, have some
food. Yeah. And he's gonna start to he's gonna just plop down and just start eating food.
He'll do the 5-second roll if it hits the ground. I'm not
Oh yeah.
worried.
I mean, clearly he's eaten worse, and probably within the last 24 hours. All right, so you're knocking. Okay, so you guys have gone around back up front. A little bit of time has passed for you to do that. You are knocking on the door, and the ancient door, that ancient mahogany door, just starts to creak open. And those of you who are standing in front of it, which I would assume are probably all of you. Yes.
We'll be back over here somewhere.
Okay. And
You want to be up front with your big,
Chompers.
not
no.
pearly whites?
so you see through the door
Not
that
white.
there is a carpeted entryway. This red, crimson, very dusty-looking, dirty carpeted entryway with dozens of weeping candles and floor sconces that are lit all along the side there. And standing in the doorway after she opens it is the same woman that you recognize from the top of the balcony in the back. She has got a couple of loose scrolls in her hand and is just sort of looking at you.
Is she armed?
Very unimpressed. Well, yes.
We are here to sign in.
The professor and his students were not expecting any visitors. Why are you here?
Fit your multipass.
If I may. Excuse me. So, greetings, my lady. My name is Heyu, and we are representatives of a local organization, and we have desperate business with the professor. If you would be so kind as to take us to the professor, so that we may ask him stuff. I lost my words.
Ask our business and be on our way.
You
Ask his
are.
business, and then we'll be on his way.
You are a fascinating little individual. They tell me it's rude to call them creatures.
It is.
Who?
That's a 24 in my diplomacy check, by the way.
Okay. So she's gonna kind of start to be taken aback by you, and as you are mellifluously explaining exactly what it is that you are, she's gonna start to listen, and she's hearing some words that are starting to ring bells with her. What organization did you say?
I didn't.
You're here on behalf of an organization, please.
The professor is expecting us.
The
Our businesses are.
I can assure you the professor is not expecting you.
Oh.
But you're here on official business of a sort.
We are.
With which group?
With a group that is known to the professor, but we are not at liberty to pass around the name just willy-nilly.
Well, I
you understand.
am the professor's most trusted graduate assistant. I assure you, you can tell me your business. I can only disturb the good professor with good reason.
We use perception for seeing through lies these days, right?
Yes?
Can we sense some
Anybody
motive
who's
here?
just like, I'm the most important person right here.
Yeah, that's
is
some
just like,
shenanigans.
You're not the professor, and you're not. That's going to be a 26 on the perception.
So she's telling the truth to her, at least her
Her
perception
vision
of the
this
truth.
reality.
But you can tell that she is not necessarily trying to block you from seeing him as much as she is trying to protect him from something. She's trying to keep people from bothering him for some kind of reason.
And was our impression in the time that we've been working with the Order of the Palatine Eye that mentioning this would be something that would be a concern to our mission? Because I don't have the letter in front of me.
So the letter mentioned that the doctor is the foremost expert on the Dominion of the Black, that he has worked extensively with the Order, and so he would probably be receptive to somebody who is an agent of the Order, but without mentioning it, she has no real idea that you're here for a legitimate purpose.
No. We are on official business with the Esoteric Order of the Palatine Eye.
Oh, and she's gonna look at that, and she's gonna see like the broken seal. That's like
I don't
half
have the seal anymore.
That's right. You
it.
gave it to him. So she's gonna look at it, and she's gonna see the writing, and she's gonna immediately she's not even gonna read it. She's gonna recognize the writing. She's going to say, "Oh, yes. Well, I had wished to not disturb the good professor in his important business. However, I would never hear the end of it from him if I did not escort you in. So please, I apologize for my previous roughness. You understand, we are under some pressure here at this research facility. She's going to open the doors wide,
Of course.
and usher you all in.
Conflict is the start of results.
Well, I started with diplomacy. The next step was intimidation, and I'm much better at that second one.
And she's going to ask you to wait here in this kind of receiving room. And so when you go into this receiving room, you are going to see that carpeting that you saw from the outside of the building. You're going to see sconces that are all placed alongside the edges. Only some of them are lit, so there's sort of a smoky kind of quality to the air here. You can see just fine, but it sort of hangs sort of ominously in this hall. Everything is very dusty and dirty. There are a few sort of like broken picture frames that are kind of around here. A lot of things that suggest that this is not necessarily a place where people regularly live and entertain, and have kept up in any sort of way. Above you, I think it's going to be fairly obvious, there is this chandelier that you see here on this map. It is actually empty. It's got sort of old kind of burnt out candles in it, and it's kind of dented in some ways, but it's sort of hanging by this this chain that goes up to the ceiling and down.
And Bartel came in with us, right?
Nope, he's still on the.
Bartel, get in here.
I'm eating.
Eat in here.
Quit eating.
Eat on the run.
He's gonna pick up and trundle back over to the front of the hall and be like, trying to have my lunch. Sit
not-
down.
It's fast
We
food.
can't be Bartle in the shorties without Bartle. Obviously.
Well, all right, you make a good point. I like
know.
you. You're nice.
I know.
I thought I used to be the front woman here.
Replaced.
So, any of you who are paying any close attention to the chandelier, make a perception check.
Ooh.
20.
26.
26.
All right. So, all of you, you see that chain that's leading from the chandelier and sort of discreetly wrapped around the ceiling and down. You actually notice when you look at where it ends in the wall that here and here on the edges of the staircases, there's a little kind of lever. And are any of you trained in society?
Yes, actually.
Yes? Okay.
Yes.
So you would know that this is a very common feature in a lot of older noble houses, houses that were built and commissioned for nobility. That is actually a lever that probably controls lowering and raising that chandelier. And you also know that if you were to push it all the way up, that it would just drop the chandelier on the ground.
to self.
Dangerous information.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I believe this has 4 shadows. it's foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing. Yeah, you got
Foreshadow.
it.
Oh.
So Lucy has the woman
Moving on.
who has not actually given her name. The woman who has not actually given her name told you to wait there and that she would go get the professor. So she has wandered back off toward here. This is a very large center pillar with a bunch of books in a octagonal shelving sort of unit there. It's filled with all of these leather-bound, very old-looking tomes. So she wanders past there and through the right here, past the staircase, and you hear some kind of voices, and in fact, you heard the hushed voices coming from in there just indefinitely, and then you hear some sort of louder speaking, and out comes this man in his 40s to come talk to you, and he looks pretty disheveled. He is wearing spectacles, and his eyes are sort of bloodshot and watery. His hair is sort of tousled, and he's wearing pretty nice clothes. He's wearing an outfit like you might expect to see somebody who's of a higher stature at an institution of higher learning, but he's clearly a little bit worse for the wear, and this is what he looks like.
Sweet. He looks like he's been here a long time.
He looks like he's been here for a long time and probably has not necessarily been sleeping very well, and clearly is agitated about something. And when so which one of you is in the front?
Well, I probably would have wandered this way to look at the chains.
Yeah, which one of you is the furthest up? Who is the first one of you that he would see when he walks into this room?
Probably me, because I was probably like up here.
Okay,
Hanging out next to that.
so he's gonna look at you
because I don't like being inside.
Not a people person, huh?
Just not an indoor person.
So he's gonna look at all of you, and he's just gonna walk up to the first one of you that he sees, and he's going to sort of bend forward and kind of wince a little bit and extend his hand and shake your hand and say, I am Dr. Virid Alar, but you were aware of that, weren't you? Please, tell me why you have come to Somberfell Hall.
Well, we received a summons from the Order of the Palatine asking us to come beseech you for help.
While this
help
is going
with
on,
what?
I want to be looking out the front door, just sort of keeping an eye on what's
Mapping
going on
that
out there.
out, yeah.
Yeah, I'll watch Bartel while this is going on.
He's probably snacking.
Yeah.
Help, you say? Help with what? With what? Oh, the Order of the Palatine? Yes?
Yes.
They only like so many things. You know that they appreciate your expertise in the matters of
Ah, yes. I
darkness
also
from
know.
beyond the sky.
I also know that they do not wish to bother me if it was not something that was very important. And so your presence here has alerted me to something. Please tell me more.
Your expertise is required for an investigation into an artifact that has been recently found that seems to be tied to
The Dominion.
The countdown here.
yes
The countdown clock.
A Katapeshi tomb had a countdown clock, so called, within it.
Ah, yes. I am familiar with these types of artifacts. However, I am very, very busy. I have research that I must conduct, and I will help you. You are welcome to stay in rooms upstairs. However, I am, busy with important documents and research that cannot wait.
However, let us be clear about something. Your research, it is on a timer?
Yes.
These,
Oh, very much so. More than you could possibly understand.
your documents are going to disappear in the course of several hours if you do not read them?
No, that is not the case. However, I must understand something that is potentially happening or potentially might happen. So I cannot actually stop my research for you right now. I need a day, perhaps? And you must be very tired, yes? You have had a long journey?
What does the handout say about our time frame? Does the handout...
It just asks you to get his aid as soon as possible, but with his own, under his own sort of
All right.
circumstances.
Then that
So-
sounds
Is there
reasonable.
something we can do to assist with your research?
Happy to help.
No. Only please stay out of the reading room on this side of the house. This is where all of my students are reading important documents and taking notes and making discoveries that I hope will solve some sort of problem that I have a research problem. You understand? Yes, it's very important. And when he says problem, you all start to, he's not lying, but you start to get the sense that he's being evasive about something, that his important thing that he is researching might be something more than just like studies or background or history. He's being very, very vague about what it is.
Can I do an occultism check to see if he's kind of doing some
Sure.
Occultism.
thing?
In fact, I'm going to actually have you make a perception check instead.
All right.
To see if anything seems like he...
Oh, that was so close. It was.
So
that's technically a 12.
But it is a natural one on the die. I will point out.
It is.
Yeah, you know, you're not getting necessarily the sense that there's any occultism going on, but you know, he's got that thick accent, and he's being very evasive with his language. He's a very smart guy. If he wanted to be more direct about what he's doing, he would be.
I want to ask from the door very gruffly, why have you been here so long?
I have the important research. I told you. My subject is, how you say, very exhaustive mentally for me. I look into things that are elder and alien and eldritch horrors from the great beyond dark tapestry-related matters.
That's my cultism.
It is very important, and yet it wears on me, and I have become tired, and so I have retired to Somberfell Hall to study in peace with my most trusted students.
All right.
How did you gain access to this building?
My family has owned this house for 40 years since it was built.
Are you a follower of Serenray?
I believe in many doctrines of redemption and healing, goodness, particularly those ones who would protect us from the alien horrors that I know are true throughout my own studies, abstruse studies from Synchomactic School. You might be familiar with it. I am head of that department, and it is my responsibility to look into them. And so the Black Butterfly and Desna to a certain extent, and also Serenray, indeed. All of these things speak to and cleanse my soul as I look into them.
So I just start toying with the Desna holy symbol around my neck. It's like, I understand, yes.
Yes, and he's going to
That's why I'm
look at you.
offering to help with your research.
I cannot ask you to help. Your minds are not attuned to these most dangerous types of topics. However, please rest. Give me a few hours. Go upstairs. Lucy will show you. And the dark-haired young woman who showed you into the house is going to come out when she hears her name again and start beckoning you toward this upstairs way. And please make yourselves at home, the professor is going to say. I do not live here, and so anything, any of these areas, except for our research area, you feel free to look around. Anything of any kind of value, of course, please leave alone. But however, I understand that you may be curious about this place. Many rumors about it abound. Feel free to go wherever you want that is unlocked.
All right.
And you'll please excuse me now. I really must go. I must finish, and so I can help you as soon as I'm done. And he's going to walk sort of back in this direction.
Bartle, you're with me. Let's go.
So, okay.
Glad Bartle doesn't scream out, this place is a dome.
So are you going to follow her up the stairs?
I want to cast Detect Magic around the symbol on the door area before I leave.
The Serenray.
Oh, that's
very
pretty
nice.
good.
Very nice.
What's my spell? It's, I think it's +7.
So you don't actually detect any magic on it
Okay.
with that spell. You would need to detect the magic, and then you would need to use Arcana to identify it. But you don't see anything, and if you're sort of looking in this general direction, you don't see anything that stands out as any kind of magic.
Okay.
would it be possible for me to check out the books in the library over
It would
there?
absolutely be possible for you to do that.
So I'm going to just wander that away.
So Lucy is going to go up there. Who is following her?
I will be.
Bartle and I.
Okay. So we're going to have her examine the library, and then we'll show you guys what the upstairs looks like, and Lucy will show you
I will
around.
reluctantly follow them also.
Okay.
Step 1.
All right,
Split
so
the
you
party.
and the doctor is going to go back into this research area with Lucy is up here, and there's some other students over in that direction.
We're off to the sky with that.
So, okay. So you are examining this large pillar with all of these leather-bound books here. You are going to find lots of different types of topics, a very wide breadth that are organized in the way that a library might be. There are histories of the Inner Sea region. There are tomes about ancient civilizations, language translation aids, an entire shelf full of language translation aids. Some of them are actually dead languages, or you just don't recognize what they are. And if you would like to make a perception check, you might be able to notice something else.
If you find a copy of To Serve Man, let us know.
That's a 21.
Okay, so up at a shelf that is a little bit off of eye level, but you're still able to notice it. You see that there's a tome that's kind of pulled out that looks like it's been used more frequently maybe than some of the others.
Actually, can I reach it?
You would probably have to step on. You'd have to step on the top shelf to just kind of jump up and grab it. You should be able to do that though. Okay, so you're gonna pull out the book. Are you gonna look inside of it?
Yes.
All right. So there's actually a leaf of paper that is stuck kind of in the middle, and there's handwriting on it. Not all of it is legible, but what you can read says transformation ? Mental cage ? Remote connection ? Investigate how ? !
Oh dear.
Very hastily written.
You know, that last line could have been way worse.
Yes.
Like, kill them all! Exclamation point.
I'd warrant 2 exclamation points. So I think I'm going to use... Actually, I don't know if I want to do that now or wait. Because this is ominous, and everyone's wandered off, and I'm in this creepy old house.
You're going to do great.
Oh yeah, no, I think what I'd like to do is cast my Read Omens spell.
Okay. That sounds good.
Which lets me choose an event or, I believe, a place within a 1 week period in the future.
Okay.
And I will learn a cryptic clue or a piece of advice.
Okay, so what place are you choosing?
I'm choosing this place, the hall.
The house, okay.
Because this is a creepy, creepy house.
And so an event within the past week. Okay.
No, the upcoming week.
The upcoming week, correct.
Yes.
All right, so you're going to cast this spell, and you're just, I'm guessing you're just kind of standing here.
Yeah, I'm just going to kind of wander off so I can't be seen, make sure no one's
Okay, so you're going to duck behind the book or the staircase there. All right, you can easily do that. Those they have already sort of headed up, and there are no students in sight in this particular area. And so when you cast that spell, you don't really get much at first, but then you get a flicker inside your mind, and you see a man who looks very much like the professor, but with some marked differences. He's much paler in this vision than he is. His eyes are entirely bloodshot, and in fact, they are splotched with this black, this unnatural black color. And his face is more emaciated, and his mouth is kind of protruding, and he's clearly not in control of his own faculties in the way that he was there. And what is even worse is once you see that vision of him flash into your mind, you then see a whole bunch of creatures with gray skin and lolling tongues and fangs dripping with some sort of viscous fluid, and they're grabbing and lunging at him, and they're grabbing his limbs, and they're tearing at him. They're not trying to hurt him, they're trying to take him somewhere. And then your vision ends.
And then I dash after the party.
Okay.
Hey guys, wait for me.
Nice vision. All right.
Are you going to tell anybody about what you have seen?
Once we're all alone without an assistant there, I'm going to quietly relay this information.
Okay.
As it's important.
So I could ask you to move the dice, Chris. So you have gone upstairs, and the upstairs is actually backwards. Like that. So here's the top of the stairs. She's taking you up on this side. There's a door here, a door here, door here, door here. They're all sort of just kind of hanging open. Clearly, you know, nobody has really paid attention. Except for this door. This door is not open. And so Lucy is going to lead you into this main, if you'd like to follow.
Sure. Yes.
Okay. She's going to lead you into this main bedroom and is going to reiterate the things that the professor said and say, we appreciate your presence here. We understand that your mission is important. The professor, I can tell, is dedicated to helping you as soon as he can. You simply must believe that he is not normally this concerned about what he might learn. And to be honest, I'm not even sure what it is he expects that he might learn, but I do trust him. He's very important to me. He normally tells me things, but something's different now. Anyway, I must get back to him. And she's going to leave back. And as she's leaving, she's going to say, feel free to use the facilities however you see fit.
What's
the
your
order
name?
trusts you, and so I trust you. My name is Lucy Yacerna. I am the first graduate teaching assistant of Professor Alar. He and I have worked together for several years. And she's gonna... Excuse me, I must get back to my research.
So are one of these balconies where John fell?
So John was trying to climb up on this one, right? The closest one to you?
Slimy.
So that would be this one. This would be the door that you saw her poke her head out of to yell at you to go around front.
I would like to walk out onto this balcony and look out over the lake and see if anything is different.
Sure.
I'm going to show Bartle to his room.
I was gonna say, before you guys depart, I will tell you all my vision and
Yeah.
Yeah.
concerns for.
Especially after she tells me what she saw, I want to look out here.
Okay. Do you have any further insight about what it is that she saw? Any sort of thoughts?
Would
Oh,
my
I don't like-
occultism
I
tell
don't
me anything
like it
about what the
here.
creatures might have been? Could I identify them?
Religion might be able
Religion?
to. If
Okay.
you would like to describe them, anybody can make a religion check to potentially
okay.
be able
I'll
to
do a religion
tell
check.
what they are.
15.
I'll
That's
do
not very
that
good.
as well.
Okay. 15 is not going to quite do it.
Ooh.
How about
13.
16?
16 is actually just enough.
All
so
right.
Yes. Good job. Good job.
you,
We're professionals.
Yeah.
I'm professional.
these guys aren't really sure. It sounds very gross. You're explaining it in terms of like this is a very unnatural type of creature. You recognize though that this sounds like a ghast, probably. A more powerful sort of version of like a ghoul. Certainly an undead creature. And, you know, creatures that are often known to be kind of like working with more powerful undead. It's odd to you that these creatures would not be trying to take this professor somewhere.
So this is a minion creature. or
Yeah,
something.
without being at the behest of
Yeah.
something more powerful.
So, to make sure I'm understanding, so the things that in your vision were trying to pull him away were all ghasts.
Yes.
Okay.
As best we can tell.
And
And did it appear like he was turning into one?
It didn't appear like he was turning into one. It appeared like he didn't quite know what was going on and that he was even maybe disassociated from just the reality of what was
But
happening
he was,
around
we
him.
know he was undergoing some sort of transformation.
He had something that had happened to
Yeah.
him to make him physically look.
And I
That
will tell them
way.
about the piece of paper that I might have taken with me.
So it's,
My haste.
Transformation.
is anything different about the lake, the Misty Lake, as I...
So, as they're
Gaze upon.
pondering all of these things, you are looking at that area, and so you're going to see that these are all. This is just a small bedroom, guest bedroom, sort of like the others. The door that was closed that she poked her head out at is a Chelish-style iron and glass door that is, opening out into that balcony that you saw before with the trellises and the ivy. You don't really see anything like in the lake. You don't see anything coming out of it. It's just kind of a haze, that misty haze, as it is, later in the afternoon. But you notice the ivy that's growing on top of the balcony. It looks like it's actually climbable. Like these trellises are very, very sturdy.
Okay.
Next time.
Yes, next time we climb, perhaps.
Yes.
Um,
So in your haste to jump up, you didn't notice that these trellises were.
I just had so
sturdy.
many skill feats.
So
That's fair.
I have 50 feet of rope. I want to tie it to the balcony, but not throw it down yet. Just kind of coil it right here on the balcony
Sure.
and have that be like a second.
Yeah, you can pretty easily just take a couple of minutes
I don't
to
like being
make a
inside
knot.
much, as you can tell.
Okay.
So,
What else are you guys doing?
What skills do I have?
Just going to give a general once-over of these rooms upstairs and just see if there's anything worth seeing, or roll up the rug in certain
I
areas.
was gonna say detect magic in all the rooms.
They're pretty empty rooms. There's really not too much of note there. They all, if you were to go into there, you would see that they would all have those sort of glass Chelish-style doors. They're set up fairly comfortably, but they're not, lavishly furnished or anything. There's not really been any effort made to make them up for guests. They were clearly not expecting anybody to join them.
I think I want to go find the kitchen.
There was... you were saying that this door was
That was
closed.
that's what I was going to...
Yeah, so this door here...
And when we were approaching, you said that this was like a 2.5 story.
Yeah, so you saw that it was 2.5 stories, and there was one side that had that kind of half story on it, like maybe there's some kind of attic or storage area up there from the back.
I can get this open, but it will be loud.
I bet you that's where the kitchen is.
Are you looking at this door? Did you guys go? Okay.
Currently looking.
Yeah.
So there, it is padlocked. You didn't necessarily see it when you're walking by, but there's a lock on it.
I don't understand why they would want to keep you of all goblins, from having a snack in the kitchen.
Well, I mean, padlocks say stay out, but these thieves' tools I've got right here say come on in. So
They should have a discussion.
I think we should get these two together.
They should become more acquainted with one another.
Yeah. All right. So roll me a thievery
We'll go
check.
and check on that. I will keep watch.
Oof.
Oh dear.
14 because I'm awesome.
You're gonna try to work your kind of tools in there, but your poor little goblin hands are having trouble
Well, it's
getting
way up
purchase on the
here.
tools.
What if I give him a boost? And
Does anybody else want to try to? Yeah. Does anybody else want to try to unlock it or assist him in
Or
any sort of
maybe
way?
just pick me up so I can reach
That's
it better,
what-
so I
that's
can
what I'm
try
saying.
again.
He's gonna
Sure.
use,
I'll
like,
just assist him this time.
Yeah,
and
if you
help
would
him.
like to, let him stand
I'll
on
just
your
give him
back
a
or something,
boost,
I'll let you
yeah.
try
Yeah.
again. Yeah.
You look way more adept at that than I am.
Now I can. Now that I can reach it, I broke my tool.
Oh
Ah,
no! So
You are lumpy. You are bad stool.
So in your fumbling attempts to unlock this padlock, you notice that this is an older sort of style of padlock. It's looks like there might be a key that would fit in there. You can't get your tools in there to unlock it, probably because it's old, or maybe because you rolled a natural 1. But there might be
broke
some
my
key to
tools.
this somewhere. You don't. It seems likely.
Did you buy replacement picks?
No, but now I need to.
Is this like a bookcase right here? Is that what this is?
That is a table,
okay.
just like a dressing table.
Can I search the room for the key? This room here.
Yeah, you can
same-
spend time going through these sort of sparse furnishings.
What am I rolling? Perception?
Yes.
26.
Yeah, there's not actually anything up here, and there's not even been people up here other than probably Lucy trying to figure out what you were doing in the back. So if there's anything hidden, it's probably not going to be up here.
Okay.
I do not like this house.
Well,
It's a bad house.
So
What's Bartel doing?
Yeah, what is Bartel doing?
You guys left him in the receiving room.
no,
He's
no.
just-
I brought
Oh,
him
no,
in.
yeah, that's right, you brought him up there.
Showed him
Yeah,
to
you
his-
brought him
This
So
is
he's-
Bartel's room.
So he's
Okay.
going to be this one right here.
Yeah.
So he's sleeping
The
it off.
closet. Yeah. So he is going to
sleeping it
be
off.
he's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
slumped in the corner. He's had his food coma kind of going on.
This
He's had
is
his
a better
lunch. And
place
he's
than
going to be
he's
like
been in weeks.
he's
So-
snoring. He's very
He was
comfortable.
not at all put off by coming in this house that he said he hated.
Not necessarily. Now that he's seen that there's people in there, he wasn't protesting it, at least.
To be fair, he said that it was a dump. He didn't say he hated it.
True.
Right.
True.
I
And he's probably
suppose.
still
I've
sobering.
stayed in some very nice dumps.
Home is what
I'm not sure where he gets off calling it a dump, considering he slept in the tavern last night. But
Yep.
he has standards. You
I'm
guys.
ready to go downstairs.
I think we should go back to the library and continue investigating a bit.
You guys gonna go back downstairs?
Yes.
All right.
We'll find the secondary kitchen.
Can I get you to move that? Yeah, thank you. Excellent.
All right. So I'm definitely going back to the library.
Okay.
See if I can find more interesting books.
Okay. What is everybody doing?
I'm gonna look for that key.
Okay.
I'm gonna
It's
find
gonna start in this room.
You're gonna
the
find food.
kitchen.
All right.
Start searching.
So you are going to the kitchen. You are continuing to examine these books. Gwendol, what are you doing?
I'm heading into this area,
You
whatever
are
that is.
heading into
The
this
parlor.
area. The parlor. All right. So we'll start with you here, Bodil, and you are examining these smaller rooms.
Yep.
So you are going to start out opening this room, and this is actually very markedly different from what you saw upstairs. There are clearly people who are staying in these rooms. It's probably a good guess that these are the students' rooms. There are papers around, a bunch of clothes, bunch of extra clothes that are not necessarily arranged terribly neatly. You can tell that their priority is not necessarily their living place, but is indeed just to make it functional. And so they have all of that there, and there are like some class notes that look like are from the types of topics that the doctor was talking about before.
I want to look for Lucy's room.
Okay. So you go in there, and there you see pretty much the same thing. If you are going to go into, are you going to go into this room next?
Yeah. Let's search. Till it looks like I found her room.
Okay, so this looks like some sort of kind of recreation hall. But you know what? As far as you can tell, you're going to go in here?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's really not much that you can tell of note. But you walk into this room and you notice that there are then two sort of doors to some kind of chamber that's to the north here, the north west area. I can't tell what it is because it's closed, but it looks kind of like a typical closet door. And so this looks like it might be Lucy's room. You're not quite sure, but you see some clothing kind of in the same style as what she did. They're clearly women's clothes, and she's a little bit more organized than those other rooms are. She's got stacks of books that look like they're even alphabetized kind of up on the floor there. It's not terribly neat because there's not a proper bookcase, but that's her stuff.
Without making it look like I searched her room, I do want to find that key, so I'm going to search her room carefully.
Okay. So you're gonna go through there and look through things. You're not really going to see anything, but you can tell from the layout of the house that there's one more room in that direction, and the only room you haven't found so far is the professor's room. So that's probably his room.
All right, I'll go in that closet.
You're gonna go in the closet. Okay, so you go into the closet, and you make a perception check. You see that this is just a dusty, empty closet with a few piles of clothes.
15.
15. Okay. You see a rug kind of in the corner, and something about you can't really tell, but it looks like there might be like maybe like a handprint or like a finger in the dust that's next to the
In one of the corners.
Yeah, and that's next to the rug there. You're gonna lift up the rug. So when you lift up the rug, you see a trapdoor.
Is it locked?
It is locked.
Damn. All right. Well, I'll need to go find a friend.
Okay. So, but you get the sense that the rug was hiding that trapdoor. The lines and the dust there, somebody was clearly trying to get that, not being out in the open. The door was closed.
I will go find the goblin.
Okay.
Since he was the one with the thieves' tools.
Okay.
They're broken.
One of us needs to prep mending.
Yeah.
So you're gonna take the goblin there. All right. So while you decide what you're gonna do,
I'm gonna go tell the goblin about the trapdoor and see if he can open it.
All right. You guys want to play this out, or we want to jump back to you guys?
Yeah,
All right. Let's do that.
Yeah.
All right. Goblin.
Well, I'm in the kitchen, so that's.
All right.
So
I'll tell you what you see in the kitchen.
Meanwhile-
Say, did you find some food?
Yeah, I'm looking for food.
You are looking for food, so you're going in here.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you go in there, you are going to see lots of large preparation counters, counters along the wall, small fire pits and built-in ovens that look like they've been used a little bit, not a lot, but haven't really been cleaned since they've been used. You don't see any large food stores, but there are some like silver cutlery just kind of hanging out there, not really put away in any neat way. So,
not here to steal. I'm not a stealing type. I'm looking for things that are edible.
You don't really find anything
No
in
food.
here.
That's sad.
And I was gonna take a meal to our good friend Bartle.
There's a lot of people. in
The
this
Bartle
house
that's
that
passed
don't
out in
know
the
food.
closet upstairs and snoring.
He's gonna wake up hungry.
Sure,
Probably.
Sure.
All right. Well,
Are you going to get him? Are you going to get him?
Yeah, I'm leaving this area to find the goblin to bring him back.
And are you going to go back in
Sure.
there? All
Sure.
right.
Yeah. If there's no
Fast
food
forward.
All right. Are you going to go ahead and try to unlock that trapdoor?
here, I don't think that I can. Is it able to be done without thieves' tools? Because like literally rolling a 1 makes them broken until I repair them.
You know what? I'm going to say that if you want to take some of that cutlery that's
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
you might
yeah.
be able to make some improvised.
All right.
Fashion-
All right.
fashion some
So,
tools.
Might be a little bit harder, but
Okay.
go ahead and see if you can get that open.
all right.
Looking forward to people like using that fork and be like, why does it go in a spiral?
Okay, so I got a 26 without any
Yay.
improvised weapon penalty.
All right. So it's going to take you a little while, but you're going to be able to pop that lock there,
All right. Well,
and just kind of get it off and be able to throw it off.
this fork goes into my thieves' tools kit because it is now thieves' tools.
All right. So you guys have a door that you need to decide if you're going to open. You are going into this dining area.
That's
All
it.
right. Let's see what happens
Watch, you're gonna find all the food.
to you.
Might be.
All right, so when you walk in here, you immediately notice something rather striking. There are floor-to-ceiling glass panes that are very rare and very expensive, especially in this part of the country, that were clearly installed with the sense of getting a very nice view of this rolling countryside that you have traveled across to get here. Must have cost a fortune. There's a solid mahogany dining table here in front of you that overlooks this window. And there are there's a smaller table with some chairs and some dining carts that are kind of on wheels and able to be moved about in there. There's very bright light sort of streaming in, but you get the sense that this furniture is all easily sort of movable.
I'm going to investigate the dining carts, especially because I'm pretty sure that Hey You was probably being like, no food from the next room over.
Probably hear it, yeah.
You probably
Pretty
do
much.
hear him. Yeah.
Who doesn't have food?
Why?
Why would you do this?
Let's have you make a perception check.
All right, so assuming that this is visual, that gets me a 30.
Okay, so again, you're not going to see a lot of stores. This is not necessarily a packed area where food is kept. That's got to be somewhere else in the house. But you do find a bunch of garlic cloves and some flasks of lamp oil that are just kind of shoved underneath one of the carts there that you're looking through.
Okay. Okay.
So if you'd like to make lunch for Bartle upstairs, you can make a salad dressed in lamp oil with minced vinegar.
It's going to be our exploding
garlic.
vampire cannon.
Yeah, basically.
So we'll just fill him up with lamp oil and garlic, and then let the vampires eat him and explode
Say, at least there's
themselves.
lots of
Genius.
Wait, are you talking about sacrificing Bartle to the
Yes.
horde? Oh, no.
yeah.
Well, I
It's
won't tell him he
sacrifice.
says that.
It's an enlist.
Get in there, champ. I'm sure you can do it.
Got it.
Are we talking like a string of like 12 heads of garlic? Or are we talking bushels of garlic?
It's about 7 actual full cloves that were clearly just kind of left in the
Wait,
back and probably are kind of old.
Cloves or
Yeah.
heads?
Well, the heads.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to take 4 of those. Which
Okay.
hopefully won't lead to some sort of vampire catastrophe when somebody's like, oh god, vampires! Well, get the garlic! It's not there anymore! And then we lose all the NPCs.
All right.
break a few eggs. You know.
So you're here in the library while Gwendol is tearing through all of these stores, clearly not paying too much attention to making a mess because the place is already kind of a mess.
Yeah.
You are looking through the shelves. You're not really seeing anything else out of place. You notice that in the back and sort of the side here that there's more of those esoteric sort of studies tomes that look like they've seen more use, more or less, but nothing really out of the ordinary.
I do like my occult books. They are fun.
All right, so let's go back to there. Are you guys going to come get your friends? Are you going to open
Well,
this door?
I'm gonna say let's grab the others and see where this leads.
Okay.
You're gonna go wake Bartle upstairs.
Well, obviously. So yeah, I'll go get him. I run upstairs, wake up Bartle, drag him along, and then I go where I saw my buddy there, and I'm like, ooh, garlic, and I'll take a couple of those.
It's all they have.
Still good, and I'll eat like 2 or 3 of them.
Oh,
and
you
then,
might not want to eat those all right now.
Just 1 or 2, and then
Well,
grab the
I was
gnome on the
thinking
way
gobble
and
item, then.
bring everybody back to here. And
While,
say,
while he's gone, I don't want to wait, and I'm going to go down the stairs.
So we
Are
get
you?
back to
Are
friends.
you?
Yes.
So we get back to the
Alright.
closet and it's empty.
It's like, where'd he go? Door's open. I'll go.
All right. So you make it. Here's the basement. For those of you watching at home, basement. So you are the dwarf, and you are just going to go down
I know
these
they're
stairs.
coming, but
Right.
I'm like,
Meet you down there, guys.
Yeah.
Bye. I'm going to go into the creepy basement
I'm
now.
impatient.
Yeah. All right.
I don't see any problem with this plan.
So when you go down there, you see this basement. It is very dark and sort of poorly lit from this area, but you can make out that there's all kinds of junk in the basement.
I'm a dwarf, so I can see.
You can see, right? And so there's a single cot in the corner, and what is really bizarre about that cot is that there are chains that are wrapped around it, and one end of the chain is attached to the wall with a very solid metal piece.
I'm gonna detect magic on the room again.
All right, so you notice that it's not really magic, but it's something there's something that gives you an unsettling feeling about a wall, this wall that's sort of here on the far side over by the cot. I'm gonna go look at that.
These are just scrolls and books, nothing really.
It's just a bunch of broken furniture.
The bed is like
and-
over here, and then the creepy walls on this corner.
No, so the cot is kind of
the
here.
cot is right there.
Yeah,
right
and
where
then
I'm
the
getting the EBGB feeling.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll go take a look at it.
Okay. You don't happen to have detect alignment or anything, do you?
I do not have detect alignment.
Okay. So you walk up to the wall that's behind the cot, and you see this chalk writing that's on the wall, that's been scribbled on the wall, and they are some sort of sigils or some sort of symbols. You can't really tell what it is, but if you'd like to make a society check.
Don't dead open inside. Society. 16.
All right. You really don't know what they are. You just know that you get a bad feeling about it.
Okay, well at this time I'll probably just wait for my.
You guys
Party
gonna
knows
come
the
follow
area.
him pretty... Okay, so now you guys are down here.
I mean, the goblin.
Hey,
is
come
very
look at this
insistent.
wall.
Okay. Check out the sigils.
Does anybody else like to examine the wall?
Yes. If you give some heebie-jeebies, I will check that out.
So this wall looks weird. Look at these markings.
I like
Does
the
anyone
weird.
have
know
a
what they
detect
are.
alignment?
No.
Okay.
I can protect from things, but
Okay.
I don't know what they
So
are
make
first.
society checks, all of you who are looking at this this writing, trying to figure out what is going on here.
Oh, 15.
Untrained Okamus.
You as well?
21.
I was examining the furniture just to get a sense of how it might have been broken.
Gotcha. Okay.
Maybe into stakes or something appropriate.
You still can't
Or
exactly
people
tell what
throw
that
it.
is, but
Yeah.
you
Oh, it's
know
true.
what he means when he says, "This is creeping me out." You're feeling that same feeling. You are examining the broken
I
furniture.
want to get a sense of, like, did people throw other people into this furniture? Is this furniture just decrepit and has crumbled under its own weight?
Sure.
Was somebody going at it with an axe?
Was someone chained to the wall?
Yeah,
and going
absolutely.
insane?
Sure. So you're just going to spend some time. Why don't you make a perception check? See if you can just take some time to look at the way that these are broken.
25.
25. Okay, so you can tell that, this is very, the broken shards here are pretty violent. The result of some sort of violent kind of outburst. They were clearly not broken by anything larger than like a person, perhaps, but somebody would need to have perhaps inhuman strength even to be able to just break a table in half or, tear the leg off of a chair the way you're seeing here.
Such wasted potential.
It looks like they didn't use any kind of manufactured weapons. It really just looks like somebody tore this furniture with their bare hands.
Somebody, yeah.
The doctor was hiding this room.
Somebody
We
could-
found it in a trapdoor underneath a rug. I do not like the feel of this place.
Well, somebody was very strong when they tore this chair in pieces.
Somebody or something.
Dun dun dun.
What did I tell you about doing that?
Sorry.
So as you
We
guys
should go
are
find the doctor once.
discussing all of this and down here, you're gonna hear a voice from above.
Easy to
It's gonna
find.
be the doctor's voice, and he's going to be, "Oh, friends, we should talk. We should talk, friends. Please,
Yes,
come
you
back
are
upstairs."
just who we were looking for.
I'll go back
And
upstairs.
talk we shall.
Yeah, so I'll go back upstairs.
Okay,
Yes.
so all you guys are going back upstairs to talk to the doctor.
You aren't honest with us.
Or he was.
I also want to.
I mean, he didn't.
I want
say
to-
He didn't have a.
Well, I would like
secret
to
prison
exit the
basement.
closet in a way that I like go to one of the exits to make sure that he doesn't walk away from this room without us impeding him.
Okay,
He's got some splaining to do.
so you're gonna kind of usher
So-
him back toward the,
No,
the
just-
main area.
I just want to block like this exit.
Oh,
here.
I see. Okay.
Yeah,
Keep
so I
him
block
from
that.
exiting this
Keep him
room.
from exiting this room.
Okay, he's not threatening you. He's not. He doesn't have any weapons. He doesn't look like he's ready to fight. He really looks like he is very sheepish
What do
and
his
is
eyes
hanging
look
his
like?
head. There's still that same kind of bloodshot, tired,
But not
very
black
disheveled look.
speckled yet.
No,
Yeah.
no.
That's
His
important.
skin tone is still the
Right.
same as from what you saw before. His hair is still the same.
Very
His
important.
face is not emaciated the way you saw in your vision. But he is hanging his head. He's saying, I am very sorry, my friends. I have not been exactly truthful with you, and I must apologize for that. You have
So what is being kept down there with those
what
chains?
was.
What
Well,
was?
Or what was, yes.
would you believe if I told you it was me?
And why?
I do not want my students to know this. I do not want to scare them. I am researching exactly what is happening to me because I do not know. But at night, since I have come to Somberfell Hall, even before, I have lost myself. I lose track of time. I do not understand what is happening to me. I hear these voices in my head, and there are languages that are pure evil. It is the dominion of the black reaching into my soul to try to compel me to do things, and I listen, and I cannot help myself. I become strong. I lose color in my skin. I break things. You saw the basement. At night, this happens to me, and I retreat and I lock myself in there to protect my students until I figure out what is happening and can stop it. That is why I am here.
And Lucy is the one who locks you in, isn't she?
My students do not know any of this except that what we are researching is of the utmost importance. That's all they know. I do not wish to scare them.
But that's Lucy's room.
Aren't we in Lucy's room?
Yeah.
No, this is a closet.
I know,
But it's
the
a closet in
opens
Lucy's
into
room.
Lucy's room.
Lucy does not go into this room. This is not used. The rug. The rug. Lucy sleeps in the research room. She is very dedicated. I'm not worried about her poking into things.
Huh.
Very good. All right.
I think it's time you showed us what is upstairs, Professor.
What is upstairs?
Behind the paddock.
I can tell you exactly what is upstairs. It is a zombie. I was accosted by a zombie 2-3 nights ago, perhaps. I stabbed it with my letter opener. That is what you would find up there. I panicked. These forces, they are now trying to come do something to me. I don't know, but I fear I have only a little bit of time. And as soon as he says that, you guys are going to hear very loud coming from the direction of the front door. Just knocks, just rhythmic knocking. And at that point, we're going to call a break. We'll be back in about 10 minutes or so to find out exactly what is knocking on the door of Somberfell Hall.
Dun dun dun.
Very well.